What a debut season it was for the Oregon Ducks and some of their finest here in Vegas. Matayo Uiagalelei, they call him Young Concrete. He's got some hands, you can see, ready to anchor the edge. Back in the hunt for a second straight Big Ten title. They opened the season against Montana State, a team that won 15 games last year. Huge Week 2 matchup against Oklahoma State. And to close out September, the rematch of the Big Ten Championship. A road trip to Happy Valley will be a game with massive implications. Bryce Boettcher, Kenyon Saiq, and Matayo Uiagalelei joining us on set as we get to talk a little bit more with the Big Ten champs. Guys, it is great to see you. As always, I will say one of my favorite things on set here is watching you guys watch the highlights from last year as we come into the break. A lot of smiles because a lot of good memories from last season, Bryce.
Oh, yeah. Lots of great memories for sure.
How do you guys look back on last season? Because you run the table your first year in the Big Ten, and then, of course, what happened in the Rose Bowl no one was expecting. So, Matayo, for you, as you look at a whole of what last year, what do you make of what you guys were able to do?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it didn't end as how we planned, but, you can't really take away from what we did during the regular season. But just looking for growth and to build on what we had and learn from our mistakes.
Kenny, I think a lot of people who maybe didn't know your name, that should have known your name, got to know you early on in the Big Ten Championship. You had those 2 quick touchdowns before everyone could even sit in their seat. What was that game like for you? Because you're somebody who's come in and has waited your turn to be the guy, and now you are.
Right, yeah. It was a big reward. It was awesome to be able to perform to that level in such a high moment. It really helps to have the people around me push me and make me better every day.
What do people need to know about the way that you play the game? And I'm going to ask the guys on either side of you to answer that question as well.
I'm versatile. I want to go out there and I want to create a level of energy for the team and for the offense. From
a defensive perspective, is that a fair assessment? Anything you would add?
Yeah, I mean, we call him Sadiq the Freak for a reason. He's
Freaky Sadiqi.
The fastest guy on our team, probably one of the strongest, and we're looking at his highlights here. And when you can match up against that guy every day, it makes me a better player, that's for sure. And I'm sure Matayo can say the same.
Yeah, I'll just add on, in the coverage, of course, but even in the run game, blocking, this guy is probably the best blocking tight end I've been against, I feel like, and that speaks to just the player he is.
And you've been against a lot of great ones. So Sadiq the Freak, Young Concrete, I mean, there's some really good nicknames on this team. Who's got the best nickname in the locker room?
Best nickname?
Or maybe the most fitting? Both
Cheeto?
of you guys is...
Cheeto.
Cheeto?
Yeah, Cheeto.
Yeah, Austin Mims, Cheeto.
Austin Mims, yeah, Cheeto. Or LeBron. You call LeBron, too.
Call him Cheeto.
Okay.
LeBron.
There's a lot of... I'm sure there's many stories that we could and could not tell on this set about some of the nicknames.
We'll leave that one.
I think, Bryce, about your journey, one of the greatest stories that we get to cover in college football. Local kid from Eugene, former walk-on. You become the leader of the defense. You could have gone and played baseball at a very high level, 2-sport guy. When you think about your path and how you ended back here for another year and able to do all the different things you did, what do you make of it? How would you describe your journey?
I mean, obviously it's pretty surreal, and I have a lot of people to thank for the journey that have helped me, accomplish what I've accomplished. God has been in my corner along the way as well. I'm not going to discredit my hard work. I've definitely worked my ass off to achieve what I have. I'm just blessed to be playing for the Ducks one more season. I love my hometown. I love my teammates, and I love the Ducks. So here we are.
What is something that football teaches you that baseball never could, and vice versa? Because I feel like you take different things from both sports that make you better at the other one.
Yeah, I'd say baseball is all about patience. There's some days where you prepare and you go 0 for 4, and there's days where you prepare and you'll go 4 for 4. And you try to figure out why, but you don't really understand it. So you got to have a lot of faith and a lot of patience. Whereas football, that definitely applies. You have to have faith and patience, but you also have to be the aggressor. Like if you sit back for too long, you're going to get ran over and you're not going to be a good football player. So they definitely go hand in hand. They're very different games at the same time. But I love them both for different reasons.
Timing does seem to be everything in the game of football, and knowing when to be aggressive and when to maybe be a little bit more patient.
Yeah.
Matayo, I think you're known for your patience off the field. You like to go thrift shopping. Is that true? Is that correct? Yeah? Can you tell us about your jacket? Because Dan Lanning made a comment about it up on the podium.
I know. I didn't think I was going to get that many compliments. But I ordered a suit for this, and the pants never came in time. So I just brought every jacket I had, and every pair of pants I had in the hotel, and just try every combination. And I thrifted this a while ago. It was like $5 or $10. I don't remember.
You make it look good.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. What is the key to being a good thrift shopper?
Patience.
Patience.
Like you said, you gonna go in there one day and find nothing, and then you go in the next day, and you're gonna find some heat.
I think patience as well when you think about the fact that you are just an elite pass rusher and you get into the mind of a quarterback. And I do think that the art of the pass rush, it's not just about the physical tools. There is a whole mental thing. And I imagine that you know when a quarterback is thinking about you.
Yeah, I would just say definitely, like, even if you don't get a sack or even a QB hit, like if you're in his face after every play, that definitely affects him in some degree. Like every quarterback's different. Some quarterbacks, might be better than others at dealing with that. But just because you don't get a sack doesn't mean you're not affecting the quarterback. And it definitely is a mind game. You definitely, every play being relentless in his face, whatever, it's definitely going to take a toll on the quarterback.
I remember Kayvon Thibodeau telling me a few years ago that there is nothing better than when he knows that a quarterback is thinking about him. He said that's when you know you've got him, because you can tell that they're looking over at you when maybe you're not even coming at him. I think about all the different ways that you have been described, Kenyon, and all the different things that you can do. You talk about the versatility. One of the most important things is going to be your chemistry with whoever the quarterback is. A lot of people assume it's going to be Dante Moore. I'm just curious as to how you develop that chemistry, what you've seen from him and Austin and this group that's competing.
Right. Both Dante and Austin have done a phenomenal job this offseason building chemistry with the guys on the field and off the field. It's been an emphasis for both of them. So seeing them blossom into that quarterback one role has been awesome to see. They're both very personable people, and we just want to get the best out of everyone around them. They're both very capable on the field. It's just about getting to know them off the field. In
addition to reps, like what is the key to building that chemistry? Because I'm sure reps is obviously one of the main things, but what else goes into it?
Yeah, it's been nice. I've been fortunate to play with Dante last year and then Austin these past 2 years, so there is some chemistry there. But it's really just getting to know the guy. So when you know someone, like across from you, you tend to play a little bit better and play for them.
One of the things that stands out to me when I get a chance to actually get to know you guys beyond football is all the things that you're involved with away from the game. And you were part of a Courts for Kids service trip to Kenya this summer, from what I understand. Tell me how that came together and exactly what was it? Yeah,
it's actually Bryce did one previously too as well. But it's just it's life-changing. It really is. Going away to a different country like Africa, for instance, and just seeing the different environment, the different economical impacts that go into it, and just meeting the people there. Like I said, it's truly life-changing. It's hard to put into words without you guys really experiencing it. We're there for 10 days, and it changed my perspective on life.
And that's the thing, I think. We throw that word perspective around a lot, but I think until you go and put yourself in one of those situations, can you even begin to appreciate all the things that you can 100%. Take for granted. And where did you go?
I went to Guatemala. Yep.
And what was the trip oriented around?
Same thing. We built a basketball court for a village of kids out there. And it honestly messed up my perspective of like capitalism in the U.S. a little bit. I'm grateful for what we have, but I saw a group of people that had absolutely nothing and were happier than a lot of people I knew back home. Yep. So it kind of just affects what you realize actually matters in your life. And if no one's done it before, I recommend you go on a service trip to a country that's less fortunate, because it'll change your life.
I think that is so well said. And again, unless you've done it, it's hard to understand just how different everybody else's experience is outside of where we live. When I think about Dan Lanning, I think about the relationships that he's able to build. And from the outside, it's clear that he puts intention into creating those relationships and the culture. From the inside, all the best locker rooms are player-led. So what does it look like? What does he do that's unique to Dan Lanning and the ability that he has to get some glue together, Matayo?
I definitely say we do a lot of just team bonding type activities. At first it's going to be, Coach Lanning putting it together. But then it kind of just turns into players just saying they might send a message in the group chat hey, let's do our own and just all the players getting together on our own, kind of player-led, like you said.
Anything you would add to that? Because I think he is one of the more unique coaches in the country.
Yeah, I'd say we had a leadership retreat earlier this year. We went paintballing, sat down, talked about what it means to be a leader, skills that you need to have, and kind of just reflecting on who you are as a person, what you need to improve as a leader. And we do events charity events. We built beds for like homeless and like kids the other week, and just doing leadership activities and team bonding activities that, I mean, I don't know if other schools do them. I have no idea, but it seems like it's pretty cool. That's what we do. So.
Yeah, I feel like he's installed a great culture, especially nowadays in the modern, transfer portal era and all these things going on. He's done a great job of being able to connect his players, even if we're only there for 1 year, or they only get to know them for 1 year. Really know the people that we're playing the game with, and he does a great job of it.
It feels like he was born to be a football coach, but if Dan Lanning wasn't coaching football, what would he be doing?
What would Coach Lanning be doing? I mean, he was a teacher before he was a football coach.
He was a PE teacher?
No, and I see that. I mean, he's great at teaching the game. Like, he's a good teacher. But like I said, he also has an intensity about him. So I think a PE
I can see
teacher.
him on like Wall Street.
Wall Street?
Wall Street.
Like a CEO.
But like a broker or something?
Yeah.
Like, we need to get all
He
the
can
money.
command a room.
Yeah, definitely
so
someone calling the shots.
there's
He'd be
a
the
lot
Wolf
of
of Wall
different things.
Street,
Whether
bro.
it's a PE teacher or a CEO on Wall Street, there's a lot of range for Dan Lanning. The thing that you're most looking forward to this season is what?
Oh, man. I'd say just putting the pads on again. It's been a while before I played football and like hit someone. Usually it's a quick turnaround from baseball, but I'm looking forward to just hitting this guy in a couple of weeks, not going to lie.
I mean, yeah, same thing goes for me. Going into fall camp, going in here, I'm just excited to get out there. New team, new offense, a lot of new faces. So go out there and build some chemistry.
Yeah. I'd say we have like a lot of young guys, a lot of new guys. And I know like we're a very talented team. I'm just excited to see everybody like, let's put everything together and mesh as like one team. That's probably what I'm most excited for.
Well, we are excited to watch you guys. It was unbelievable to watch what you were able to do last season, and we look forward to seeing all the new pieces coming together this season. And at some point, Matayo, will you take me thrift shopping with you? Sure.
Me too.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'll tag along.
We'll get an outing.